Hello Market Club members and fellow traders everywhere. Adam Hewison here, president of iknow.com and co-founder of Market Club with your market update for Friday, the 11th of April. Well, I think the big news is, well, of course we had JPMorgan come out today and missed their earnings, which put a lot of pressure on the market. But the market was under pressure earlier, and it has been for most of the week. We're going to go through the major indices today, all the major markets, and show you just how things can work. But first we're going to start with General Motors. General Motors, of course, has this huge recall. They had their hearings before Congress, but I want to show you technically just what has been going on there. First of all, you can see the trend started with our monthly trade triangle all the way back here, and let me just tell you the price on that and the date. So that was on $23.34, and that was on September 7th of 2012. So you can see a huge move up from the 23 level to really what was the 43, 45 level, somewhere like that. And then we've subsequently come down because of the recall and the tremendous amount of money that's going to cost General Motors for this thing. But I want to show you one thing in particular. So let's scope this in really close, maybe the last 6 months. And I'm just going to put in, there's the break. We've got the weeklies kicked in there, but also the weekly kicked in right here at 39.86, almost very, very close to the high. And you can see we're trading at 32.70. That's a huge move for a stock of this size. And the trend continues to be down. This is, in fact, probably, if we scope this out again, yep, this is a pretty significant low. Not a 52-week low, but certainly a significant low. Trend is down. Early warning signal was around 39.86 on the weekly. Again, the weeklies are for timing. So as promised, here are the rules for the trade triangles when you trade stocks. First of all, the most important rules are the monthly trade triangles. They determine the major trend, whether it's up, that would be a green triangle, or whether it's down, that would be a red triangle. We couple that with the weekly trade triangles. So we use the monthly trade triangles to determine trend, then we use the weekly trade triangles for entry and exit signals. And how that works, if the trend is down, then we would only use a green weekly trade triangle to get out of a position. Conversely, if the trend is up, we'd only use a red weekly trade triangle to exit that position. All new positions are put on when the colors combine in the two trade triangles. That's it. Pretty easy, huh? The monthly are for trend. So the trend kicked in here. You can see, boom, it came down. Then again, we got another signal that the trend was going down at 35.70. So again, very, very important levels. What we're looking at now is the Dow 30, and you can see based on our trade triangles, it's a mixed picture. 55 plus 55 in that area means it's a trading range. It hasn't really developed into a trend yet. You've got the monthly that's up, and you have the weekly that kicked in here on 411 at 1666. So again, the trend is down. The market's a little bit higher than that, but the trend basically is in a trading range, and you can simply put a trading range in this area. It's sort of like a big kind of box right there. That's where we are right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this market pop up again, but it seems as though it's running out of gas, and that's the important thing to remember. Looking at the NASDAQ, which has really been under pressure, you can see the lows set here in February, very important lows. We expect those lows to hold, and we may see some further backing and filling again at 70. Modest downtrend, nothing dramatic. The longer term trend still positive, but it's running out of gas. On the S&P 500, I've drawn some technical points in here. The S&P 500, it's minus 55, indicating a trading range. And as you can see, we got right down to the 50% Fibonacci retracement, 1817. 61.8% is almost the 1800 level. That's a key level in our minds, but watch that area very closely. I would not be surprised to see further downside action, but it's 55 trading range. Look for it to be a little bit choppy either way. Looking at crude oil looks to be close to closing on its best ever close for this particular contract. We're currently trading at $104.15. The best close you've ever seen in this particular contract is $104.25. So again, this is the trend is your friend. Now remember, we trade crude oil a little bit differently. All of our trade triangles are positive, but we trade crude oil with our weeklies as trend. So the trend kicked in at 102.24 for us, and we use our dailies for timing. Again, weekly right here for trend, daily for timing. Very different from stocks. Just remember that. On the gold, we are plus 65, indicating a trading range. You can see the market has made a turn. Not a strong turn, but it has made a turn. Certainly if you put something like the parabolic indicator on here, you can see how that caught the turn. But generally speaking, the trend is positive, shorter term, but with a 55 plus 65, we're going to see this market chop around a bit. It hasn't made a major turn. We're going to see this green weekly, the red, we want to see this red triangle turn green. That will be a positive for this market. Looking at the euro dollar, you can see we've had a run up from there, but generally speaking, the trend is still mixed. Plus 75, really not clear. The longer term is positive. The weekly, however, is negative. We need to see that turn green to get really super bullish on this market. So let's see how that plays out next week. But you can see we've just gone straight up from the lows here, and I think we'll see some backing and filling, and eventually I think we'll see this market turn around and move higher. So let's see how that plays out. Hey, I'm Adam Hewison for Market Club. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this brief update. Be sure to check out our Q&A section on Market Club blog. Ask any question. Shows what you're doing, and we'll be happy to answer and get you feedback. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You can find Adam Hewison as a regular contributor on Bloomberg, Business News Network, CNBC, and Fox Business News.